The Alpha Sessions.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Alpha Sessions. I'm Lucy Wroe and today we have the pleasure of welcoming Anastaseea into the studio. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a fun time watching you perform for us, and I think we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Including your latest single, and also I don't know anything about you yet, so this is going to be an interesting time. But to start us off, tell us where you've come from, what your musical roots are.
Yeah. So, about me. I'm like half Greek, half English. I grew up in Corfu, Greece.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I've been living in the UK for about 7 years now. And in terms of my musical roots, back in Corfu, I did piano lessons. I was in a choir for many years. I also played clarinet as well, and I was in a marching band for a few years as well, which is it's quite crazy to think about. And yeah, so I moved to the UK to study music. I again studied classical music, so that's my background. But then I just found it a bit too rigid and constraining, I would say. So that's when I just started turning a bit more into like, pop and creating my own things. And that's the path that I ended up taking. So, yeah.
Before we go any further, is there any chance the marching band is going to make an appearance in later life?
I don't have plans for that.
How does that even... It's not something that I imagine is a thing you can do when you grow up. We have a lot of classical background musicians,
yeah,
which is a great place to start, piano lessons and flutes and saxophones and all sorts. But marching band is quite unique.
I mean, in Corfu, like, there's hundreds of marching bands. Really? It's kind of a thing, yeah.
I feel like I need to go just to experience it for myself.
You should go during Easter. Orthodox Easter.
Is that
That's
when all
when
the marching bands come out of the town?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So your musical background is quite mixed, I imagine, but what kind of influences did you have growing up in your family, but also in the wider world of music? Like, what was your earliest memory of music making you feel something?
I mean, when I was a kid, I remember my mum playing artists like Amy Winehouse and Nelly Furtado in the car, as well as Beethoven symphonies. Yeah, I remember those quite clearly. Then, as I got older, I started liking artists like Jessie J and Little Mix. And when I was like 15, 16, I went through a phase where I really liked K-pop.
Oh, cool, okay.
Yeah, so I guess lots of different, directions in a way.
Yeah, but that's what kind of makes you sound unique, when everything comes together and it's not obvious where your influences come from, because there's so much in there that it just becomes your own sound, I suppose. But what's your earliest songwriting memory? When did you start putting your own thoughts into things instead of just,
I would say 2020, 2021. That's when I that is like my earliest, time when I started, experimenting with songwriting and just started getting into it. So, yeah, I would say probably late 2020, I think. Yeah.
And with your latest single as well, which is the first song you played for us, Strength.
Yeah.
How did that song come into being? Was that the same kind of time, 2020, 2021, or is that a more recent creation?
That was like in the first half of 2022. It's when I initially wrote it, and it sounded a lot more experimental back then.
Experimental how?
Because I was like... I don't know, back then I was like, I want to really, really, really just try and sound different from other people. So the chords were just very weird and stuff. And the melody was like quite different as well. But then, I don't know, then I worked with someone else and we both agreed that it should sound a bit more pop. Which is why it sounds the way it sounds now.
Does a little part of you wish that it was still kind of...
Not really, if I'm honest with you.
You just found a new place for it. I suppose if the journey's natural, that's fine. And what made it the song that you wanted it to be your debut? How did you decide it was the time to release that, or not debut, but most recent single? Because if you wrote it 2 years ago, then...
I guess part of that was finding like... you know, just figuring out exactly what I want it to sound like, because it's only until quite recently, maybe in the summer, that it sounds, I got it to sound the way it sounded. Yeah, that's the main thing, really, I would say.
And in terms of the meaning as well, like to you, is it a song that you wrote because if you wrote it on your own, but it sort of evolved with someone else?
Yeah.
But the meaning remains the same, I suppose, to you. But what is it that you want to come across?
Yeah, I wrote that song when I had, just finished uni. And when I was at uni, I struggled a lot with my mental health for various reasons. So I just channeled that into this song. Yeah. And it's also, strength. It's about, you know, trying to find strength to push through that.
I can't believe I'm laughing and drinking, recklessly dancing. What was I thinking when I go home in my bed alone? I feel like I'm drowning. Waves of darkness are pulling me under a sea of pain. Another pill and another line to mend the wheels of my ever-spinning mind. To fly, to fly, to fly, to feel alive without falling. Need escape from this dark ocean to reach the surface and be free. I smile and breathe. I come to see I still have strength in me. I can't believe I'm sitting here smiling, talking and flirting, but secretly I'm hurting. I only see grey in this world. I can't help it when everything's fading. Waves of darkness have pulled me under a sea again. Another pill and another line to mend the wheels of my ever-spinning mind. To fly, to fly, to fly, to feel alive without falling. Need escape from this dark ocean to reach the surface and be free. I smile and breathe. I come to see I still have strength in me. Another pill and another line to mend the wheels of my ever-spinning mind. To fly, to fly, to fly, to feel alive without falling. Need escape from this dark ocean to reach the surface and be free. I smile and breathe. I come to see I still have strength in me.
The Alpha Sessions.
More about your songwriting processes in that same way. Like when you sit down, do you have an idea already, or do you sit and think, right, I'm going to set this time aside to write something today? Or does it differ? Does it change all the time?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I sometimes have ideas for a song and I just write it, but then there might be another time when I don't really have any ideas and I'll just see what comes out.
Do you prefer to write alone, or now that you found people to produce with and stuff, is that sort of, have you moved into that direction?
I mean, I like both. I like writing. I do like writing alone. I think when you write alone, you can definitely concentrate more on getting whatever that song is finished. But writing with other people is also a lot of fun too. You get lots of different perspectives and lots of exposed to lots of different ideas as well. And I enjoy both, really.
How do you find being around so many ideas though? Because I personally struggle with having a lot of voices in the room that all have a slightly different opinion, and like trying to balance that.
Yeah, no, that can be. I do understand, because I've felt that way a couple of times, especially, I don't know, if you're like 5 or 6 people in a room, you know, writing together. I guess if you have a difference in opinion, I guess you either have to compromise and go with the one that makes more sense, or meet somewhere in the middle. Yeah,
and actually we were talking about songwriting camps, because you've recently been on one. Well, I say recently, was it in the summer?
In September.
It was in September. Was that your first experience of that kind of writing with groups to briefs?
Yeah, it was actually.
How did you find it?
No, it was fun. I did enjoy doing it, and it's a great, you know, experience, and it's a great starting point to do other things like that as well. I definitely recommend camps to other artists and writers. I guess obviously a massive issue for lots of people is the pricing, but this one that I did was quite affordable, thank God.
Yeah. And does it kind of help you write your own music, or is it like a completely separate part of your brain?
I guess I had to tap into a separate part, because you're writing for briefs. In this case, it was sync briefs, and so you're not writing for yourself as an artist. You're writing for a TV show, so you do have to think, you know, approach things quite differently.
Have you done that before? That kind of writing to briefs? Before songwriting camps?
No.
But it's something that maybe you could be interested in?
I am interested in that. I do want to do it more. It's just, you know, trying to get into that world a bit more.
Yeah. But how do you feel about, like, in the modern industry, when it's always been the way that there are big groups, or, you know, like conference rooms full of people, and they're like trying to meticulously put this song together to be a hit. But in the modern industry, like, how do you feel about that as an experience? Because sometimes when you hear music on the radio and it sounds really manufactured, because it was written by, you look at the credits, it was written by 12 people. But what is your feeling about all that? Do you think songs are kind of losing their uniqueness for that, or?
I mean I'm thinking maybe a little bit, I guess. For example, this year we saw Chapel Roan become huge. I think that her songs are really unique, and so I guess in that respect, no, you can still be successful while having a flair to your sound and your writing. But I'm also thinking of other artists that kind of are really massive at the moment, you know, like Sabrina Carpenter or Taylor Swift, which I'm not a big fan of them. I do hear their music, and I just kind of think that it's a bit generic. And I know Taylor writes all of her stuff, but I think with Sabrina you can just tell that she's had lots of other people just you know, contribute to a song. And yeah. On
the other hand, there are a lot of women up there, a few of which you just named, and I feel like that is something we talk about a lot on the Alpha Sessions recently, just there being a really good space for women at the moment in music.
There's been a resurgence in like women, you know, pop artists primarily, and that's great. I'm enjoying seeing that.
I think, and I can't tell where it's going to go, if it's going to keep unraveling that way, or if there'll be, it's hard to tell. But I know you're also part of Amplify Her, who I want to shout out, because we get quite a lot of artists on here now from Amplify, and that's a really good community. So from moving from Greece to London as well, how has that music community been, like finding spaces in London that you can showcase your music, and how is the community here, do you find?
I would say, I mean London is quite vast, so I feel like it can be quite hard to find people that you can actually click with. So compared to maybe somewhere up north, it might take a bit more time to find those people that you can form a bit of a community with and just help each other. It's not impossible though. There are great communities and people out there. And there's a lot of places where you can just showcase your music. Could be. I started off by doing open mics, just meeting people from there, and that was my starting point, I would say. And even if you've been doing this for a few years, I think it's still good to go to open mics and sing as well.
Yeah, I'd like to talk a bit more about live stuff, because I know you've performed in quite a few really nice venues. I saw Ronnie Scott's at some point, and that's a really nice one. Do you have a band that you play with regularly?
I don't often play with a band. It's normally with a guitarist that I play with, but I've played with a band a few times. It is fun. It's just quite difficult to coordinate with lots of people. And
musicians are... How do you feel about the London scene and the London live music scene specifically?
I mean, it's great. There's always something going on. One of my issues, and I'm not the only one, it's like all of these promoters out there that I think a lot of people with are struggling, especially at the moment, is to just try and find like gigs where they're treated properly and where they get paid at least something. And I would say that's what I'm kind of like struggling and reflecting on a bit at the moment. And I'm just, trying to, I don't know, reevaluate my approach to live. And I don't know, maybe, for example, is it better to reach out to these venues directly and just cut out the middleman, or stuff like that?
It's something I've been thinking about a lot, because I have the same experiences with just not really knowing what to do anymore, because there is the middleman still, but also if we just act like they're not there and we go around them, maybe that is the only direction.
Maybe, I don't.
I don't really know what's right. Let's talk about the second song you played, Universe. That has a very different vibe to Strength, I think.
Yeah,
very
it does.
feel. And we were talking a bit earlier about how this one is unreleased.
Yeah.
But it's potentially on its way to being released. So tell me all about what this one is about and when it was written.
This song, it was written earlier this year, and I wrote it because because I'm in a long distance relationship with someone who lives in France.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the main inspiration behind it. And that's why I wrote it, I would say.
Like an ode, like a call out. And that's I guess that is why it has that feel. It's quite ethereal, it's quite vast.
Yeah, that's what I wanted it to sound
vast.
like.
Fire lights up the sky and fades by the night. I hope you're doing alright up there. Time has torn us apart, but you're the one who has my heart. Comets light up your path, high in the sky. So, my love, what's on my mind? I'll be flying through the universe to find you. I hope you haven't found somebody new. Soaring through a sea of time, but time's not on our side. I'll be flying through the universe to find you until I die. If we lived in a fantasy, I would keep you here with me to live the life we were dreaming of, but grounded on this earth. So, my love, what's on my mind? I'll be flying through the universe to find you. I hope you haven't found somebody new. Soaring through a sea of time, but time's not on our side. I'll be flying through the universe to find you until I die. I'll be flying through the universe to find you. I hope you haven't found somebody new.
The Alpha Sessions.
Is production something that you're interested in as well?
It is. I'm kind of starting to teach myself because I have Ableton, and yeah, I am. It is something I'm really interested in. In March, I'm starting. I got onto this free production course for women, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, I want to do it. I want to get into that for two reasons. Because, well, number one, you get more creative control. And number two, it's also, if I'm honest with you, to cut costs and you know, if I produce things myself, I'll be able to release more consistently. But one of the things holding me back, and lots of artists as well, is just like having to pay lots of money to producers.
And how do you find the release process? Because everybody deals with it differently. Just in the way that there's always so much. It's like a mountain. When you've got a song ready and you're like, I'm ready, it feels like you've put all the work in already because you've had to make the whole song and prepare yourself for it. And then you get to releasing it and you think, right, now I have to start from the bottom. So how do you tackle a release?
I mean, I've only done it twice, and I don't know, I've heard that you have to do it 4 or 5 times until you actually get the hang of it. And if I'm honest with you, I feel like when I released Strength, I actually didn't do enough compared to when I released You Saw the Last of Me Tonight. It is a lot, I guess. And I struggled a lot with Strength when I released it, and it's something that I'm kind of like still struggling with at the moment. And I'm kind of going through a phase of, you know, seeing other artists on TikTok, for example, and they're growing a lot faster than you, and then you just keep thinking, oh, what am I doing wrong? And I've kind of got into that headspace a bit, so I've kind of stopped posting for a while just to like work on that. But yeah, I think it's important to just it's easier said than done, but to just like kind of block out the noise and just do whatever. And I think that I've kind of realizing now that just, I don't know, just focus on your own original ideas for putting it out there. Just don't copy what everyone else is doing. That's
the trap now, isn't it? Is that everybody's really their own celebrity. And if you go online even for 2 minutes, suddenly you just start to get all this noise in your head, and there's so much self-doubt now. And I think everyone's very isolated in music at the moment. Like there's a lot of solo artists, a lot of independent solo artists, and they all feel the same way. But nobody really says anything about it because they all think the other people are doing better. But I think everyone's thinking the same thing about each other. Yeah, probably. So, yeah, but it's a good thing to sort of switch it off. How would you feel about considering, like, doing a release without social media or without that kind of promo campaign and just putting it up on GarageBand, SoundCloud, YouTube, not even streaming, or just making a physical release, you know, doing something different? Or do you think that's not really an option in this industry? I just don't, it depends on what someone's goal is. I just feel like if you do want to be a serious artist, unfortunately you do have to put it up on, you know, Spotify, and, you know, you have streaming options, unfortunately. Unless, I don't know, unless you think really out of the box and just do something else that grabs people's attention. But I just don't know what that would be. But yeah, if you're doing it more for fun or for your own, I don't know, just for you, then there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. Because there are artists that, because of the way social media is, they're not present. So people don't know about them when they don't know. But then when you actually, you know, come across them by accident, you see them on TV, on the radio or something, and then you realise they've got thousands of people going to their shows, and I can never figure out how. But I guess a lot of them come from a place when social media wasn't so popular. So they started at a good time, but now it feels like we're just in this space where we have to be on there all the time.
Yeah.
But in reality, maybe if more artists switched off from it, we'd have to go back to a different time.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
that would mean mass movement, and people don't want to move in masses. Maybe.
No.
I don't know.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, because maybe if all artists came off TikTok, then, for example, record labels just wouldn't keep going on about it.
And do you get stressed or obsessed with numbers? Because that's something we talk about a lot on here as well, is when you release something, like when you release Strength, were you checking in with all the streaming numbers to see how it's doing? Because that's,
I think we all do.
Yeah, for me, I can't help it, but I also hate it when I do it. And how do you cope with that feeling, that kind of balance?
Honestly, I agree. It's very hard to not check, and I haven't checked in over a week because I'm like, I think just constantly checking is just not good for you at all. So I'm quite proud of myself for not going on the app and checking. But yeah, everyone checks numbers.
True.
Everyone's obsessed with them.
Yeah. I think that's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Now, the final song you played it's a song you've released before. You Saw the Last of Me Tonight.
Yeah.
And was that your first single? Your debut?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that one and what it means to you.
So that one of my friends, who's also a very talented singer-songwriter and artist and producer, she made the initial demo, but it was like only half of the song back then. So she was like, oh, I think this would suit you. And so we ended up going to the studio and finishing it together. And again, that song is something that I feel like everyone can relate to, because it's just about, telling people to go away, telling those people that have done you wrong to just get out of your life. So yeah, we just channeled that energy into that song and finished it.
It had some attitude.
It did.
I feel like we need more songs with attitudes. That's coming through as well with more of the women who are in the top at the moment, at the top of the charts. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, that is good. I do feel like, obviously people can just write whatever they want, but I do feel like, especially in the independent scene, there's lots of sad stuff going around at the moment. And you can write, I think that you can write, if I write a sad song, it will still be quite upbeat, like Strength, I guess.
Yeah, do you prefer writing that kind of way, that anthemic? Like, do you imagine being in an arena and having all these people going crazy?
I have imagined that, yeah.
If you could play anywhere, actually, what venue would you pick?
Ooh.
That's a big question. There's a lot out there. Top three.
Okay, I would say O2 Arena.
Nice.
Wembley Stadium and Coco Camden.
They're my top three.
Really?
They're absolutely my top three. Yeah, I love
amazing.
Coco and Camden. I went to see the Staves there earlier in the year. It's like a trio band. It was so nice. Like, the atmosphere in there was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, Anastaseea, thank you so much for coming in. Tell us your socials if people want to find you. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so my socials are it's Anastaseea, so ITSANASTASEEA. Right. I know that's a mouthful.
It'll be under the video so they can find you. Yeah. And we look forward to everything you've got coming out next year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in. It's been a lovely time.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
All of these surprises keep ruining my head. Can we now just claim it and call it what it is? You did a number on me. You pulled the runner on me. I will say that I might have let you down, but who did the letting down first? Everybody told me to back off now, but I could only see you get burnt. All over the news mentions of you. I spend my time nursing my wounds being you. Come on, can we fight? searching for peace. This time I'll let you win, but you saw the last of me. You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. What? You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. What? You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. What? You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. You needed me to be there, at least that's what you said. You try to comfort me, but I just want you dead. You swept me off of my feet, but you turn round and cheat. You have said that I wanted war and crime, but I just wanted you. Everybody told me you're not the one, but I just had this urge to race to love and to win first place. You knew my soul would disappear with no trace. Come on, can we finally say it like it is? Admit it, you like winning if it means beating me. Baby, you relish in fighting, but I'm searching for peace. This time I'll let you win, but you saw the last of me. You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. What? You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. What? You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. What? You saw the last of me tonight. Good luck. You saw the last of me tonight. 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 You saw the last of me tonight.